It is simple to be ahead of 99% of people. All what you gotta do is set up goals and wake up early. Haven't we all heard this? Now there's this new trend where everybody's talking about being disciplined and working hard and waking up early. These are things that we all do. Did you guys really think that Jeff Bezos and Steve Jobs became in the 1% by waking up early or setting up goals? Today I'll be sharing with you a couple of steps you need to implement in your life to get ahead of 99% of people. And we're gonna start with the first step, which is subscribing to my channel. Yes, subscribe. Now, all jokes aside, let's get into it. First and foremost, you cannot get ahead of 99% of people if you think just like 99% of people. What I mean is, you have to have an idea. And most likely, this idea is gonna be criticized and laughed at. In 1999, there was an article published by a newspaper criticizing Jeff Bezos. The idea that Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos has pioneered a new business paradigm is silly. He's just another middleman, and the stock market is beginning to catch on to that fact. The real winners on the net will be firms that sell their own products directly to consumers. Just look at what's happening at Sony, Dell, and Bertelsmann. 2 decades later, Jeff Bezos tweeted in a response to this article, "Listen and be open. Do not let anybody tell you who you are." This was just one of many stories telling us all the ways we were going to fail. Today, Amazon is one of the world's most successful companies and has revolutionized 2 entirely different industries. There is a lot to learn from this tweet. So pause the video and comment below what is it that stood out for you so we can discuss it further. Bezos had to believe in himself. And this brings us to the first point of getting ahead of 99% of people, which is massive self-belief. Now, if I ask you, how many red cars have you seen today? I bet the answer is gonna be close to none. You could have passed by 100 red cars and you would not have noticed any if they were not on your radar. But if I told you I would pay you $100 for every single red car that passes you by, what is it that you're gonna do? You're gonna start counting them actively, and you're gonna see a huge number of red cars passing you by. Now, this is called the red car theory. Think about cars as if they were opportunities. They will just pass you by if you're not actively seeking them. Jeff Bezos saw an opportunity in Amazon, Bill Gates saw an opportunity in Microsoft, Elon Musk saw an opportunity in electric cars and ended up building Tesla. The list goes on. This does not happen by luck, but it happens by actively seeking opportunities and massive self-belief. So by now, we talked about self-belief, finding opportunities, and now we're gonna talk about a very important step that you need to keep in mind if you truly wanna be ahead of 99% of people, which is you gotta be right. I mean, let's face it, most people that start businesses failed. Many athletes that dropped out of school to pursue a career in sport failed as well. So whatever idea you have in mind, you got to be strong to face the critics. You have to believe in your idea and you got to be right about your idea. You see, you're going against the grain with an unpopular opinion. Behind every huge success, hundreds, if not thousands, of failures. For example, Thomas Edison, he was deemed to be too stupid to learn anything, but he ended up inventing the light bulb. Well, not this one, but you get the point, right? Henry Ford did not succeed in running the Detroit automotive company, but he ended up changing the whole industry with Ford Motors. Jack Ma faced a lot of rejections in his life. He even got rejected to work at KFC, but he saw the potential of the internet and he created Alibaba. And now let me tell you about myself. I started flipping cars when I was 19, and I realized that I was very good at it. But at the time, the car business was not doing very well. A lot of car dealers were going out of business, but I believed in my abilities. So I ended up expanding my business, and I had a full running operation that I was able to scale to 6 figures. Meanwhile, I'm going to school. You see, having an idea and being right about it has really helped me. Even though I have gotten a lot of pushback from a lot of people telling me that I was doing a very big mistake. but I still went for it. Another example is when COVID hit and there was a shutdown, I realized that the school next door canceled their graduation ceremony. So I went ahead and designed some yard signs and gave it out to the school to give it out to the students. So the school ended up approving the yard signs and they ordered 400 signs for their students. And that's when I started reaching out to all the schools in my area and the surrounding areas. And that's when I was able to make over $20,000 in a span of 2 months. You see, it is the same principle. I saw an opportunity, I believed that it will work, and I ended up executing on that opportunity. And now when it comes to executing on an idea, you really need to execute. And what I mean by you really need to execute is you really need to work hard towards it. You're trying to be ahead of 99% of people. So you gotta do something that 99% of people are not willing to do. But now you need to ask yourself a very important question. Why do you want to get ahead of 99% of people? Well, is it because you want to buy a nice car or buy a nice house? You do not really need to be ahead of 99% of people to achieve that. You could easily achieve that by being ahead of 70% of people. But being ahead of 99% of people is massive success. And you cannot expect the results to come in very quick. It's just like everything. You cannot expect that you're gonna learn a skill by practicing it for a week. But if that's what you really wanna do, you have to understand that you got to be consistent in whatever you wanna do. And mostly, it's gonna take you years of hard work and facing obstacles to possibly be able to achieve that. The question now is, do you really wanna be ahead of 99% of people? And if so, and you think you're ready, I wish you best of luck in working towards that. And if you found value in this video, don't forget, subscribe for the channel, like the video, I'll leave a comment down below. That is gonna help me continue growing and dropping more content. Thank you, and see you soon.